Well, let's start with some gold. It's hybrid. Okay, so we definitely start by taking the really expensive card because it costs 5 less, right? Take the 7 drop so it costs 2 mana? Yeah, I'm probably not supposed to take the 7 drop that gets discounted to 6, I don't think. Well, we got a 1 mana 3/5 and is it? There's Grape Shot, but is this really a Storm format? I kind of am guessing this isn't actually a Storm format. Let's switch this display over. I get the feeling I'm probably just supposed to take Introduction to Prophecy. 0 mana, scry 2, draw a card, and everything else is, like, not excellent. I do think Introduction to Prophecy is probably the most busted card here, and I'm not certain whether this is a format that's about doing truly busted Storm things, but this card is much, much better than Once Upon a Time ever was, and people, like, tried to tell me that card was good. Plus, like, everything else seems pretty bad other than Wormhole Serpent, so Introduction to Prophecy it is. The only question is, do you main deck the Prophecy? Yeah, that's kind of tempting. Okay, Ingenious Mastery. What do you do? Pay blue and X. Draw X cards. So for blue, this is a draw 3? Is that right? 1 blue, draw 3? 3 mana, draw 5? Sure. But mostly 1 mana, draw 3, which seems probably better than 0 mana, get a land. Sorry, Environmental Sciences. Maybe some other time. Yeah, I'm going to go with Ingenious Mastery. Seems like literally Ancestral. Not instant speed. But also you can't dump more mana into Ancestral Recall to draw more cards, so maybe better in some ways. Environmental Sciences is good. I just don't think it's, better than Ingenious Mastery here. Okay. So there's a bunch of cards that all do something that might not be meaningful. But here, we have a 0 mana Mox that taps for any color and can sacrifice itself to draw a card. So, like, I'm probably supposed to take the power 9 with upside, right? I think that is probably a good idea. Do we have anything meaningful here? I guess Fuming Effigy is a 1 mana 4/3. It's kind of cool. Is that better than Curate? I doubt Inkling Summoning makes it into the lesson board. Is ramp good in this format? So I assume most ramp isn't excellent, but Letter of Acceptance isn't really ramp. Because you don't spend 3 mana to play Letter of Acceptance in this format. You pay 0 mana to play Letter of Acceptance, which means you just literally cut a land and play Letter of Acceptance as a land. Turns out when mana ramp costs 0 mana and untapped, it's just better lands. I mean, Curate and Fuming Effigy both seem kind of bad, but I guess I'll take Curate, because maybe I don't play red? That seems unlikely. Speaking of me playing red, oh, we actually have a tough choice here. We have Elemental Masterpiece and Cogwork Archivist. So we have 2 mana, create 2 4/4s for blue and a red, or 1 mana, create a 4/5. Assert dominance over the bots. What, don't let the bots go into blue-red? Masterpiece over the Cogwork Archivist. Really? Okay. I wasn't sure if it was that close or not. I mean, 4/5 is pretty good. This early, yes. Oh, you think we're trying to send signals to the bots to get out of blue-red? Okay. I'm willing to go with that. Besides, maybe Cogwork Archivist wheels? Fractal Summoning. 2 mana, create a 5/5 that scales. Aether Helix. Blue-green, return target permanent to its hand. And then we get a permanent back from our graveyard. Symmetry Sage. Doesn't do much. I'm guessing probably Fractal Summoning then. Aether Helix is tempting, but that costs like 2 mana. They missed an opportunity to make this format player draft with like 5 seconds per pick. I feel like this wouldn't be a very fun format to do as a player draft, because like all of the good cards are gone in the first 2 packs, and then you're just first 2 picks, and then you're just trying to play with weird jank. Alright, let's go with Fractal Summoning. I'm guessing that's probably better than Aether Helix and doesn't require a splash. Biblioplex Assistant. 0 mana, 2/1 flyer. It puts an instant or sorcery on top of your deck. Is that good? We could also pick up Expanded Anatomy for the sideboard as a learn card. I don't think it's worth playing in the main deck, but I'm assuming that there's actually sort of a limited number of lessons you can pick up that you want to put in your sideboard. So like having 1 for the sideboard might be fine. Biblioplex Assistant is really good. Just put Masterpiece on top. Okay, we can put a Masterpiece on top. I'm willing to do that. Maybe they'll give us Expanded Anatomy? Maybe not. Maybe we'll get an Expanded Anatomy in literally the next pick. I don't know. Leyline Invocation. Single green. Oh, but not actually a good card to ramp into because it just is like a 1/1 on turn 1, huh? Alright, Expanded Anatomy for the sideboard it is. And now we get the wheels. Archway Commons comes into play tapped. That seems bad. I'm going to guess I want the Wormhole Serpent. It's a 1 mana 3/5. That could be worse. This is all pretty bad looking. I don't think I want to play any of these. Enthusiastic Study, I guess, says learn on it. So, like, maybe. Does get the Expanded Anatomy. Which I guess makes Enthusiastic Study into target creature gets +5/+3 and trample until end of turn for 1 mana. But that's not terrible. Battleseer, 2 mana, 3/4 haster. Seems kind of weak. Oh, and Vigilance. That's true. That's true. And 2 of those are counters. I don't think I'm supposed to be grabbing Dragon's Approach. Hunt for Specimens I don't think is worth splashing for. Archway is playable. Gives you mana fixing. But it enters tapped. If we end up in a 2-color list, I don't know if I'm willing to play tap lands in this format. I don't think I'm playing Battleseer, but I do kind of think that's probably what I want to take. This all seems incredibly bad. So we're just going to put a Resculpt in the sideboard. And a 0 mana 0/4 into the sideboard. And a, I don't know, sideboard. Okay. We got 9 cards. That's not nothing. What do we got here, huh? We have Bookworm if we wanted to splash green. We have Environmental Sciences. Pillar Drop Warden is a way to return spells to our hand, I guess? Sciences is tempting. Pillar Drop Warden does also seem kind of decent. And then Waterfall Aerialist is a 3-power flyer with Ward 2 for 1 mana, which could do a lot of damage. Reach matters a lot because of the 2/1 artifact bird. Okay. Alright, I'm sold on Pillar Drop Warden. I doubt we're going to wield the Environmental Sciences, but oh well. Oh, so Biblioplex. What is this card? I've literally never seen it. Look at the top card of your library. If it's an instant or sorcery card, you may reveal it and put it into your hand. If you don't put that card into your hand, you may put it into the graveyard. Activate only if you have exactly 0 or 7. Okay, no. Pop quiz is nice if we get some lessons. We have 1 expanded anatomy at the moment. We could pick up another Pillar Drop Warden. We could also pick up a Waterfall Aerialist. Introduction to Annihilation is the removal spell that makes them draw a card, yeah. I don't know, I feel like you've kind of sold me on the idea of playing Pillar Drop Wardens. Alright. I'll just play 1/5 Reachers. Here, there's a bunch of cards that might almost be decent. Ooh, there's actually 2 very good cards in the bottom. I was just immediately going to pick Letter of Acceptance, but Elemental Masterpiece is also sort of tempting. His Letter's got to be just better than Elemental Masterpiece, right? I mean, I expect that I'm not going to see either one of these. I mean, I guess Letter actually might have a slight chance of wheeling, but, like, the power level of Mox over Elemental Masterpiece is definitely way stronger. I think Masterpiece is nice, and I'd be happy to get as many of them as I can, but, like, the most busted deck I can imagine is the deck playing 17 copies of Letter of Acceptance, right? And if I would rather play 17 copies of Letters of Acceptance than 17 copies of Elemental Masterpiece, I think that means I'm supposed to take the second Letter over the second Masterpiece. Masterpiece, it's a 2-land format. Mana's worse than you think. Even when I've got stuff like Ingenious Mastery and Pillar Drop Warden to get that back, I feel like I might get more out of fast mana than out of 1 more Elemental Masterpiece. I think I'm going to go with Letter here, but I'm willing to believe that that might not actually be correct. Okay, so we have Introduction to Annihilation for the sideboard. 0 mana removal spell. But there's also Solve the Equation, which is Elemental Masterpiece, essentially. Or Ingenious Mastery. I'm pretty sure 16 letters, 1 land, 1 good card is better than 17 letters. I don't know. Why do you want a land? What does a land do? You don't need lands to play Letter of Acceptance. I feel like I'm probably supposed to take Solve the Equation here, given that I'm thinking Ingenious Mastery is really good. I think that's better than Introduction to Annihilation. And, you know, we probably can just take this Elemental Masterpiece now. I'm guessing that's probably better than Heated Debate. So I'm just gonna take that. The first land is an actual Mox, though, so there's no downside. Yeah, but lands don't make 5 colors, and they don't sacrifice themselves to draw more cards. Granted, one land not sacrificing itself when all your other lands do is probably irrelevant, but, like, letters are 2 colors. I guess it's better if your opponent has a Shatterstorm. Is Shatterstorm in this format? Or was that a Masterpiece? Anyway, we're going to take the Elemental Masterpiece. And then... First Day of Class is a learn card, but I don't think that's meaningful. Teach by Example... that doesn't seem strong enough. It's got to be the Introduction to Prophecy, right? Turn 3, First Day of Class into Elemental Masterpiece. Yeah, but then why am I not playing Masterpiece on 2, right? I mean, First Day of Class does seem good. I don't deny that. Makes things into 5/5s, and that gets through Pillar Drop Warden. Tutors up the Expanded Anatomy. Is that really better than 0 mana Scry 2 draw card? Because 0 mana Scry 2 draw card seems like a pretty good card. I'm willing to believe that First Day of Class is good, but I refuse to believe Introduction to Prophecy is anything less than completely busted. I don't get the feeling any of the cards in this pack are actually cards we're ever going to play. So I'm going to take this pretty card because it's got cool colors on it. Then we're going to put that in our sideboard. I mean, realistically, I should probably be taking the Inkling Summoning, right? Or better yet, sending the bots a signal. Alright. We'll send the bots a signal. I don't like doing that, but yeah. Here, I'm guessing we just take the 1 mana 4/5, because that seems pretty good. Isn't this format easily splashable? Sort of? I mean, if I get enough letters, I'm not worried about splashing, but I'm also not picking up color fixing at all, because I don't value... There's so many bad cards like Cogwork Archivist that are now way better than dual lands, and the opportunity cost of playing a land tapped kind of gets higher. I don't think that it's impossible to splash in this format, I just don't want to if I don't have to. Ardent Dust Speaker. When it attacks, you may put an instant or sorcery from your graveyard on the bottom of your library. If you do, exile the top 2 cards of your library. You may play those this turn. Okay, so it's a 1 mana 3/4 that sort of draws 2 cards a turn. Stat lines on that seem bad, but everything else is unplayable, so I guess we grab it. It's a weird day when the 1 mana 3/4 seems not particularly playable, huh? Teach by Example I don't really want to end up playing, but it is the card here that's playable. End of sentence. Alright, we did wheel the Elemental Masterpiece, so I'm happy we took the letter of acceptance. None of this is playable. Okay. Still none of this playable. Alright, first day of class. We were happy about that. Alright, so we have bad card, bad card, bad card, Stormkiln Arsonist. Stormkiln Artist. Not an arsonist. Bad cards, Elemental Summonings, 2 mana make a 4/4. I guess I could go on the sideboard. Pretty sure we're probably supposed to play Stormkiln Artisan here, huh? This isn't a decision. My entire job here on stream is to make decisions seem interesting when they're not. Can you storm off on turn 1? Sort of. Unfortunately for us, the letter of acceptances don't trigger Stormkiln Artisan, but our 0 mana Introduction to Prophecies definitely turn into rituals with Stormkiln Artisan. Does Claim the Firstborn counter for the 5 mana things that get reduced to 1? No, because the mana value of the creatures is still the same. What changes is the amount of mana you spend on them. I mean, Stormkiln Artisan seems busted in a format with a bunch of 0 mana spells. Burying Books? Put target creature into its owner's library, second from the top, 1 mana instant. There's that, and there's Enthusiastic Study, but as far as sideboard targets go, I've got Expanded Anatomy right now, and that's it. I guess I can pick up an off-color lesson at some point and just try to splash it with Letter of Acceptances. But is that better than just Burying Books? I mean, somehow 1 mana put target creature into its owner's library doesn't seem stellar, but I guess it's something. Probably need more lessons. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to get a lot of lessons when most of the lessons you want to put in your main deck. It's a token-heavy format. Yeah, I mean, I guess this is 1 mana removal spell. Alright. I shouldn't say no to 1 mana removal spell, I don't think. Ooh, alright. We got some interesting options here. Memory Lapse, which is a 1 mana counterspell. Cogwork Archivist, which is a 1 mana 4/5, but that'll probably wheel. How good is Memory Lapse? Like, you're not decreasing the cost very much, are you? But it is still a 1 mana counterspell. Pop Quiz is also amazing. I feel like I don't love Pop Quiz yet, just because we have so few cards to learn for. But yeah, I'm going to go with Memory Lapse. I feel like we'll probably wheel the Archivist. I think we're going to take Elemental Masterpiece number 4. We're pretty sure that Elemental Masterpiece is just better than Burying Books, right? Burying Books is 1/4/4, Elemental Masterpiece is 2/4/4s. I find that math hard to deny. Alright, well, we can put a Fractal Summoning in our board. We can play a Cogwork Archivist. We can play a Solve the Equation. There's actually a lot of cards in this pack. Practical Research 100%? Really? Practical Research over Solve the Equation? Well, Practical Research is a 2 mana draw 4, discard 1. Solve the Equation is a 2 mana draw 3. It can also be a 3 mana draw 4. I don't deny that Practical Research is good card advantage, I just mean Solve the Equation tutors for Ingenious Mastery in this particular deck, and technically triggers Stormkiln Arcanist twice. I think that makes me pick Solve the Equation. Reflective Golem. What are you? Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell that targets only Reflective Golem, you may pay 2. If you do, copy that spell. No, even as a 0-drop, that's not good enough. Probably take Fractal Summoning. And I'm actually kind of excited because we can put this in the sideboard in all likelihood. Maybe I should value Lessons more highly because I could probably put the other Fractal Summoning in the sideboard too. Or I could have a second Expanded Anatomy in the sideboard. I kind of dig that, considering everything else here looks bad. Introduction to Prophecy seems like... I mean, we have to play the 0-mana Introduction to Prophecy when we have Pillar Drop, or when we have Stormkiln Arsonist, right? That's better than Pop Quiz. How many learn spells do I have? I have First Day of Class. I'm probably not playing Curate. I'm probably not playing Wormhole Serpent. So I have 1 learn card. I guess I kind of need Pop Quiz. I don't have a lot of learn cards, and I do have some decent learn cards or lessons to get now. But 0 mana scry 2, draw 1, though. Free spells are very good. I agree. This is an interesting choice between the free spell or the 1 mana 2 for 1. Do I have the ability to play any learn cards that I'm not playing? I guess I have Enthusiastic Study. That's sort of a playable card. We're going to take Introduction to Prophecy. I believe that we'll find more pop quizzes. I could theoretically play a Teach by Example, I guess. I don't think I want to play Prismari Campus, right? That's like a tap land. I guess I can play 2 Teach by Examples if I need to. Okay, yeah. I can pick up Enthusiastic Study. Sure. Cardwork Archivist? Yes, please. Sudden Breakthroughs, probably not that good. I will take a Cardwork Archivist. Yes, please. Okay, I think we have a deck that's probably decent here. How do we play this? Yeah, only 4 Elemental Masterpieces, only 3 Cardwork Archivists, only 2 Letter of Acceptances. So, could be better. We can definitely cut Battle Seer. Not super enthusiastic about Dust Speaker. We have 2 letters, which means this is essentially a 16 land deck. I could play 15 mana sources and play 1 more something from the board. I don't know what that would be. Show us the curve isn't real. Somehow this actually looks almost like a real deck's curve other than this part of the deck. If you ignore this part of the deck, or rather you ignore the little icons here that say 3 and 4, it looks like a real deck. I kind of want to play 1 more thing, I think. I just don't know if any of these are actually good. Teach by Example on Masterpiece is really good. Okay. Teach by Example seems really expensive, but I guess it also copies Mastery, which I do like. Do we play the other Teach by Example as well? Just for fun, you should line up the curve with the discount included. Okay, let's see. So 2 mana, 2 mana, 1 mana, 1 mana, 1 mana, 1 mana, 0 mana, 0 mana, 1 mana, 1 mana, 0 mana, 1 mana, 1 mana, 1 mana, 1 mana, 2 mana. So when you stack it up by this, Teach by Example is like the most expensive card in our deck. Which feels... I don't know if Teach by Example is the best card in our deck. Especially if it costs the most. But if we did want to play another Teach by Example, what would we cut? I don't think I want to play another Teach by Example, honestly. I guess it does work well with Stormkiln Artisan that it like makes 2 mana. Yeah. I don't know. I think we roll like this. Go Gadget Blunt. Thanks for the follow. Glad you're enjoying the stream. Hopefully this will be a suiting amount of nonsense. Do we want to have more blue sources or more red sources? Does it matter very much? I don't know. I guess I actually can't tell. I guess I want more blue sources because I have solved the equation into Ingenious Mastery, which takes double blue. Remember to subtract 2 for the letters. Yeah. We got 13 lands and 2 letters. Letters should be with the land. Yeah, that's true. That's true for curve purposes. They're sort of 0 drops. And our lessons include 2 expand anatomy, 1 fractal summoning. Well, I think we can see if this is good enough. And it thinks it's Teamer. I couldn't be happier. Alright, let's see what we can do. Alright, so we get to Introduction to Prophecy, Letter of Acceptance into turn 1 Elemental Masterpiece, turn 2 draw 6. Alright, we're on the draw, so I don't think we're terribly happy. Okay, what you got, opponent? How scared am I? Pillar Drop Warden. Okay, sort of blocks our 4/4s. Ooh, Letter of Acceptance, huh? I do like both of those cards. Why is this 0 mana? So the conceit of this format is that every single spell costs 5 generic less at all times. Cockwork now and copy Masterpiece next turn. So the other thing I can do is play Elemental Masterpiece this turn and hold up Memory Lapse, and then teach by example Ingenious Mastery next turn. I think I'd rather hold up Memory Lapse than play Cogwork Archivist. I think. I'm not actually sure if that's true. Maybe that's a lie? That's probably a lie. I'd probably just rather Cogwork Archivist. It's very difficult to make sure you don't accidentally discard the Elemental Masterpiece, huh? Oh, if I wanted to, instead of doing Ingenious Mastery to draw 3 twice, I could tap out to draw 4 twice. Is that better? Or would we rather hold up Memory Lapse? Guessing this is a Burying Books on Cogwork Archivist? Oh, divide by 0. Okay. They definitely successfully bounced my 1 mana 4/5. I love that as soon as you give Strixhaven the turbo stipulation in conjunction with its expensive spells, letters, and mystic archives, you get something that feels like Cube. I know what you mean, but in a way, this feels way weirder than Cube to me. I think that most of these decks would probably beat Cube decks the majority of the time. Alright, opponent, what you got? I'm upset that I might not have the time to play this Cogwork Archivist next turn. Okay, 2 mana 4/4, sure. 1 mana 4/3, sure. I gotta say, I think I'm only gonna draw 6, and I feel pretty bad about that. X equals 3. This is fun. Alright, and we get to discard one of these lands that I don't need. I can bury in books if they don't play anything that I want to memory lapse. I'm not even sure what solve the equation is supposed to tutor for here. Okay, opponent found a letter of acceptance. Cycles a letter of acceptance. It's unfortunate for them. Pillar Drop Warden gets what? Nothing? Alright, well, we're going to bury in books targeting... let's see. Probably Pillar Drop Warden, since the other things we can trade with. Okay. Good times, good times. I'm not even sure what to make of that. But that seemed about as good as a hand can get from our deck, considering we had every letter in the opening hand. Maybe we can do something more busted than that if we have Stormkeel Artisan on turn 1. We're on the play. We lack blue mana, but we have Introduction to Prophecy. I need a lot of blue mana, though. Nah, it's fine. We get Introduction to Prophecy. Mulligan? Really? You don't believe? You should believe more often. Just gonna play this turn 1 Elemental Masterpiece. This is fun. What are you gonna do, opponent? What do you got that matches up well against 2 4/4s? Ooh, draw 3. Alright, draw 3. Sure. Yeah, gets back another draw 3. But no letter of acceptances? Really, opponent? I don't know. Biblioplex Assistant getting back Elemental Masterpiece sounds kind of cool. My opponent is drawing a lot of cards, though, and I am not drawing a lot of cards, so it's kind of scary. I almost don't even know if I want to put Elemental Masterpiece back on top of my deck, because I can't play 2 things next turn doing that. But, like, I don't know. Still seems pretty good, right? I guess I could just put Introduction to Prophecy back on top of my deck instead. Nah, probably Masterpiece. Opponent's not gonna kill me, right? They are facing down lethal. So, like, there's a decent chance I can just bury in books to push through a kill here. This is a format, huh? casting 2 Ancestral Recalls, in fact, not good enough, yes. But I think that kind of begins to demonstrate why I think I was correct to take the Letter of Acceptance over the Elemental Mastery. Okay, so this isn't very good, but Introduction to Prophecy, Biblioplex Assistant, the Introduction to Prophecy, play a Cogwork Arcanist. Tough. No letters, but Introduction to Prophecy could totally be a letter. Opponent's on the play. Turn 1 Cogwork, hard to mulligan. Alright, I'll believe you. Stormkill Artisan is scary. Introduction to Prophecy is a cantrip draw card. Alright. Double top! Alright, I'm a little worried. Okay, that could have been worse. So we start with an Introduction to Prophecy. Alright, I guess we take Elemental Masterpiece and try to card advantage the opponent out. Maybe? No, because I'm in a Biblioplex Assistant this turn anyway, right? I want a letter. Or a Stormkill Artisan. Enthusiastic Study. Okay. Introduction to Prophecy. Alright, Ingenious Mastery, Elemental Mastery. It's probably good enough. So if I Ingenious Mastery to draw 3, and then play Biblioplex Assistant, it's probably worse than having the Cogwork Arcanist down this turn, I think. What's our land letter split? 2 letters, 13 lands. The Biblioplex Assistant blocks the Stormkill Artisan pretty cleanly. So if they don't have enough card advantage, okay, that seems quite bad. But also, does Resculpt always crash the game? Oh yeah, that's definitely hard crashing. Nice. Okay, back soon. We're gonna close that. I didn't break it, my opponent broke it. That was their Resculpt. Not my fault. Not this time. Alright, is this maybe working now? Okay, stuff happened while I was gone. Mine's desired. Okay. Alright, but they're empty-handed, so I actually think I'm winning. Let's see. So, Introduction to Prophecy, what do you find? 2 Elemental Masterpieces? I think that might be a little too slow, honestly. I kind of want Letter of Acceptance. Introduction to Prophecy, what do you find? Elemental Masterpiece? That might be kind of too slow. I guess I need 1 for the Pillar Drop Warden at this point, so we'll just accept that. So I could play Pillar Drop Warden and hold up Memory Lapse? Is that what I want to do? Or I could draw 3. Or put a couple of 4/4s on the board. I can give the opponent 1 turn of top decking, maybe. The top 3 cards in my deck were sort of elemental masterpieces, yes. Okay. Triple block a Cogwork Archivist. Go to 4. Go to 8, actually. That's a lot better than 4. Ooh. Alright, elemental masterpiece, sure. So block, pillar drop blocks 1, go to 3, sure. I think I'm supposed to draw 3 here. Try to hit a land drop. Alright, did successfully hit a land drop. So I could play Pillar Drop and Ardent Dusk Speaker, although Ardent Dusk Speaker's stats kind of suck. Alternatively, I could Pillar Drop Warden and Enthusiastic Study, which actually kills a... I guess kills a Cogwork Archivist. If I block it with a 4/4. We trade with a 4/4, block a 4/4, take 5, go to 3. No, I guess it's probably better to play the Dust Speaker, because it double blocks a Cogwork Archivist with a 4/4. Is that right? That's not really any different than playing Enthusiastic Study, though, is it? Huh. Guess learning is probably worthwhile, because we get expanded anatomy, which is actually kind of decent. Okay. Ugh. Well, I'm glad they didn't. Oh, I'm dead. I was going to say that I'm glad they didn't hold that. But it doesn't matter. Guess I should have played the Ardent Dust Speaker to play around them top decking a removal spell. I was kind of hoping they would spend 1 turn not drawing something, though. Unfortunately, being on the draw, kind of weak, huh?